Everyone's doing the live dance, and we should be live everywhere now. So hello, everybody, and welcome to Edie Skye and the Other Guy. I am Edie Skye. He is the other guy, and this used to be known as Jacob and HP Holo / Edie Just Talk About, but we've renamed it this because it's funnier. There is a story behind it, and we will probably get to that story sometime tonight. But to kick off the new name of our show, we have special guests, and our special guests are JESS. I always mispronounce your name. It's not JESS Trepanier, it's Trepanier.
The first one was close, actually. It's Trepanier.
Trepanier. All right.
I married into it. It took me a while too.
It's really sad because like you guys record our audiobooks and you say your name at the beginning of all of our audiobooks, and I hear it and I log it and I'm like, okay, I'm going to remember this, and I never remember it. So
it was pretty close. That's closer than most people get. So
we have Jess, and we also have Daryl Mayfield, and they record our audiobooks as Edie Skye for Royal Guard, and they do an amazing job. And this week we've just had Monster Girl Tamer 2 released. The audiobook came out early because Royal Guard is on it, and we just wanted to have them on and fangirl and fanboy about their audiobook performances. And so welcome to the show. And I will have you, like, I've already done a short introduction, of course, but I would like you guys to introduce yourselves. What else you've narrated, what else, just anything else you want people to know about you. So we'll start with Jess.
Okay. My name is JESS TREPANIER. I've been doing audiobooks for about 6 years now. I started in about 2019 just to get away from my day job as a Starbucks barista. And I started with, I got into like haunted house books. That was my calling for a long time. I guess I just have a really like scary voice for it or whatever. And then Daryl and I met through a mutual client that we did a couple of, not duet, but dual books with. And then that was about the time that I got a message from Daryl that's like, hey, I have a client who wants to know if I have a partner. Like, will you partner up with me for this book? I'm like, sure. And that book turned out to be Titan Mage. And and ever since that, then Daryl and I have done, oh gosh, probably like 20 or 30 books together.
About.
Yeah. We just finished up, am I allowed to talk about it? But we just finished up Path of the Slayer.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
By so that's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks. And,
is that the one with like the warrior and the velociraptor or something on the front? Yes. No, it's like a T-Rex. Yes, it is. It has this. The cover has this like Doom, but with a dinosaur vibe, and I just love it.
Dinosaurs are involved. It's fun.
You can't go wrong with dinosaurs.
And we've already got people in the chat. Here's Froey B. Hey, Froey B. He's one of our biggest fans. He says, my favorite audio duo. Y'all are my gold standard. And
that's so sweet.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, Froey B's here all the time. So, all right, Daryl.
All right. Hello, I'm Daryl Mayfield. I've been doing audiobooks for about maybe 8 or 9 years. I think I got started back in 2017. When I had my third kid, I was like, oh, I need more money. And I like doing voice acting, so let me get into that. So I've been doing that, found a few books on ACX, and it kind of snowballed to me being like one of the, like doing a whole bunch of like romantic, sci-fi, spicy books. But I also do a lot of action. I actually, about maybe 3 years ago, I actually started doing more anime roles. So you can hear me in shows like Shangri-La Gruntier, Gachakuta, I can't talk about it yet, but I got some other stuff that I
can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, that I got parts in that are really cool. So yeah, that once again, just like Jess said, we started working with RG because I found a ad on TikTok of all places from another voice actor who was like, Royal Guard Publishing is looking for voice actors for their narrating. And I was like, oh, I do that. So I got on there. I got on there.
Talk?
Oh yeah.
I guess I never heard the story. I just, it's cool.
Yeah, it was a guy he was just posting about because I followed him on TikTok. He's a voice actor too. Then I got on their Discord, and then they're like, oh, you need to have a partner. Like, oh, I just finished a book where I found somebody who's really good. Hey, Jess,
Oh,
do
how
you want
sweet.
to work on cool stuff with me? She's like, yeah. So like, and since then it's like I said, snowballed into like so many books that we've worked on together since then.
I didn't realize you guys had recorded so many. That's a ton. Like,
We have since
Mhm.
Titan Mage, yeah. We've done a bunch of books for Royal Guard now. I mean, we've done all of your guys' books at this
Mhm.
point.
Mhm.
But yeah, it started with like Daryl and I didn't even know each other until we got paired together just by a client that I had had for several years. She's like, "Hey, I'm looking." She told me she was literally like scrolling the male voice actor pages on ACX to find the right voice for this one character. It was just a sassy vampire who had to have like a really dark, brooding voice. And she's like, "Okay, I found a guy." And it was literally like she told me she was searching for a couple of weeks, and like Daryl was her pick. So I mean, she made a very good choice, so.
We
And
got
it's been
Richie in the
so
chat who says, "Oh, hey, I know this amazing group of people," and
What's up,
totally
Richie? How you doing, man?
this book or anything. Yeah, Richie sent me a message that he literally just started Monster Girl Tamer like earlier today, and so he's well set up for this
ready.
podcast. So, all right. So, before we go in, Jacob has not said a single thing yet, and I'm going to let Jacob do his fanboying because that is one of the key reasons we are having this podcast. But before I hand over to Jacob,
All right, I'll wait.
okay. I just put a whole bunch of links in the chat. They're also in the show notes. But there's a link to all the audiobooks that Jess and Daryl have recorded for us. Go listen to all of them. They're awesome. We are also giving away a signed copy of Monster Girl Tamer #2, which just came out this week. And there's a form in the comments and in the show notes. And all you have to do is just fill out that form and we'll draw a random winner tomorrow. And I will send it off whenever my shipment of books gets here because I'm still waiting for it. But now, I want to lead in with one more story for context here. You guys have to understand what I've been living with this week because Jacob listens to audiobooks a lot faster than I do. And so every single time a new one comes out, especially from you guys, like he pops it in and he's listening to it like that morning as soon as it releases. And the morning that Monster Girl Tamer 2 released, I was like sitting in my office doing marketing stuff. And Jacob kept coming in like, "Hey, you have to listen to this line. You have to listen to this delivery." And it's like, Jacob, I'm trying to work. and he had not even finished the prologue. And so
just a pleasant distraction.
And so, yeah, so it really had me pumped to listen to it too. And I've started listening to it since. But Jacob, you have fanboying you want to do.
I do have some fanboying that I would like to do.
And reserved.
So I first like to start by talking a bit about Blood Knight and how much I really love your performances in that series. And so I want to highlight some of the things that I just really loved. So Jess, I'm going to start with you. So you know, obviously with these sorts of books, there's generally like a lot of female characters, and they got a lot of stuff going on. And some of them are more simplistic than others. Some are a little bit more complex. So I want to talk about Sammy. And
I love Sammy.
And
he's my favorite.
And okay, so Sammy, just to briefly for people watching the podcast, Sammy, you know, initially comes across, she's got some snark, you know, she's you know, kind of a little bit of a firecracker, but she has some issues, and one of the issues is that she can't touch people, and she actually, when her powers were manifesting, she almost killed her father because she didn't understand how you know what was going on or how her powers worked or anything like that. And so I'm listening to the first Blood Knight, and you know, initially it's like, yeah, that's Sammy's voice, and then you get to the scene where it's Clark and Sammy's first date, And you get to the part where Sammy is kind of sharing her the bit of bearing of the soul going on. And okay, so I generally do not empathize with fictional characters. This just is something that it's just how my brain works. I generally do not empathize with fictional characters, but I'm listening to your delivery on that. And I swear, what was going through my head was like, oh, yeah, I did do that to her, didn't I?
You tortured that poor girl. You put her through so much.
You really did, Jacob. But I feel like she has one of the single best backstories in all of Blood
really
Knight,
good
though. Like you do not expect to be affected by the slime girl of all characters, the artsy slime girl. And I remember when I was reading the first draft of Blood Knight, I was like, dang, that is so much sadder than I expected from this bright bubblegum pink character.
How do you think it hit me in the booth? I try not to read too much beforehand for that exact reason. For when I get to that page, it's like, oh, fuck, that's sad. That's so sad.
I love that you guys don't read beforehand too, though, because it results in such great bloopers.
Oh my gosh. that one German vampire. They call me, I don't know.
Yes, not for sure.
It's amazing.
It's made me rethink how I write, though, because it's like I want narrating to be an enjoyable experience for my narrators, but I'm also the kind of person who really loves complicated fantasy names. And like for Titan Mage Havoc right now, I'm making up a conlang, I'm making up a language, and it's like I'm having fun, but I have to make sure that Daryl can pronounce this. And so I have to curb myself and not make myself go too crazy. But we've got Froby in the chat again.
So
it says, I was not ready for that, or I was so not ready for that much. Feels such a great scene.
Oh.
All right. So like the before I move on to one of the characters I want to highlight with you, Daryl. So the scene where in the third book where Sammy and her parents like get to embrace for the first time in years, basically for the first time in her adult life, was one of those scenes that, as an author, when you come up with this, like, okay, I am looking forward to being able to write this scene, and I gotta get to it, and both of you just nailed the emotion behind that scene so well. And Daryl, you did that with a French accent.
Very impressive. Act, but be French about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But the one of the characters I wanted to highlight for you, Daryl, is Lord Baxter Redpeak.
Yes,
so good.
Okay, so
great.
So I actually looked up the audiobook note file that we sent you guys for book 4. And what we sent you for that character was basically our standard, kind of our standard write-up. Well, we actually had, in between the two of us, we had a different way that we were describing this character. We were describing him kind of jokingly to each other as the vampirest vampire who ever vampired. And somehow you understood the assignment perfectly, despite the fact that we did not include that information. So, and it's like, I get to the end of book 4, and he has like 1 or 2 lines. And you have the initial delivery, and it's like, yeah, this is great. That's that's this character. And then you add at the very end this little breath. And I just lost it. It was like so
deliciously
perfect.
sinister.
I know exactly what it's been so long since we've done Blood Knight book 4, but I know exactly what you're talking about, because I'm pretty sure I made a note to Daryl in our chat when I was editing, and I'm like, this little like growl that you put in at the end was really, really funny and creepy and stupid, and I love it, and keep the whole thing. But the little I don't know, weird shit you do.
I've got a fangirl a bit too, and this is for Jess. your performance on Lady Forn in 195. Oh my gosh. Like Lady Forn is a hilarious character to me anyway, because the very first time I experienced this character, so Jacob and I, when we're writing our rough drafts, we'll read stuff aloud to each other. And I will read every chapter I write aloud to Jacob, but Jacob will kind of read things piecemeal to me. And so he comes to me with absolutely no context for this scene, except that there's a unicorn in it. And he reads it aloud to I want to say it's the scene, it's the very first scene where Lady Forn was introduced. When she's like shit talking over hell divers.
Yeah.
And I hear this scene, but he doesn't just read it straight. Jacob does a Lady Forn voice. And so the first time I heard this scene, it was
I am not a professional.
Really high pitched. It was
hear the Lady Forn voice though.
So I already had this hilarious connotation, but then I heard your actually professionally done version of it, and oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite things like that you have recorded at all. Like
it was so much fun.
And then you add
so much fun.
The Doppler effect to where she gets yeeted across the battlefield.
Yeah. And you can hear her going away. I really love those subtle little effects that you guys put in, because they're small, but they have such powerful effect, like atmospheric effect and whatnot. It's so good.
Not all of my clients allow me to do that, so I'm really excited. It makes me really happy that you guys like the little effects, because the general rule with audiobooks is just like don't put in anything that's distracting, be it, like music or, over the top special effects.
Yeah.
So anytime I can put add a little spice in there.
Yeah. I don't find them distracting at all.
We had a friend of ours who was listening to it. He said that he had to pull off the road because he was laughing so hard, because it had become hazardous for him to continue driving when he got to that part where
the thing about it too is he's not the first person who has said that about our Edie Skye audiobooks, and I am legitimately thinking about, for the audiobooks alone, recording some kind of special warning that is like, drive responsibly. Don't, like, it's going to be funnier than that, but like,
do I need liability insurance for my LLC now? Is this the thing I need to be worried about?
Do not operate heavy machinery while listening.
Yeah, or make sure you have your headphones in if you're listening at work, because some of my readers have had adventures. Because a lot of my readers listen at work.
No.
Oh, come on, y'all.
Maybe don't listen to these ones at work.
Yeah.
Just the general rule for anybody who's watching. Like, I
have a lot of people who are like truckers and stalkers and things like that. So things that that allow you to listen to audiobooks easily.
Not like in your cubicle, like I got a meeting in 20 minutes, but I gotta finish this chapter.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you said stalkers like stock groceries, right?
Like stocking groceries.
Not like, peeking through people through the window and then the audiobook goes off and it's like, I should have had my headphones in. Whoop, whoop.
Sometimes my southern accent does not benefit me with certain pronunciations, and it's not even that heavy a southern accent, but Proby says, listen and drive at your own risk. Oh, and Zeckler's in the chat. Hey, Zeckler. He says, Jess and Daryl are some of the best in the biz. You absolutely
Zeckler, appreciate it.
So I have to admit that now that I know that I pretty consistently get you guys from my Royal Guard audiobooks, there are certain lines where I will put them in just because I'm so excited to see how you will read them, or because I'm excited to get the blooper that's going to result. And there's a specific line at the end of Monster Girl Tamer that I put in, and I was like, I really want to know their reactions when they get to this. And it was just so it's not really a spoiler for people who haven't listened to it, but one of the things about Monster Girl Tamer 2 is that it becomes this sort of homage / love letter to isekai and harem novels, and there eventually becomes there's a little bit of there was room for a little audiobook joke in there. And so close to the end, there is a character who brings up that, this is her favorite series, and oh my gosh, Jess and Daryl are some of the best ones who did this. And it's I can't give more than that, because the rest, I guess it is kind of a spoiler who says it and whatnot. But I was like, you know what, I have that little room, I'm gonna put this little thank you into the novel.
It was so sweet. Where I was like,
Yeah,
It
that
so
was
cute.
like, oh, we're saying our names in an audiobook.
Across
This is
like
crazy.
the multiverse. Dang, like not
Yeah.
even best in the country. Like, look at us.
Yes, best across multiple universes.
So continue with the fanboying, because
Yes.
I am not done fanboying. All right, so back to you, Jess. I want to talk about Ashley. So
Mhm.
at the end of book 4, Ashley goes through a bit of a transition as a character. And she gets her memories back. Her halo gets fixed, which, okay, it's a spoiler, but you can see that her halo is complete on the cover of book 5. So, so what I really loved about your performance of the characters, that everything up to that point had like a little bit of an edge to it. It's before and after. It's the it's the same voice, but it's like you softened all the edges, and it's like I just really loved that very subtle touch. And I remember I was listening to it. It's like the first like major exchange afterwards between Clark and Ashley after she gets her memories back. And it's like, you've changed. And it's like, yeah, she Jess understood the assignment. It was very subtle, but it was very affecting, I felt.
Understood the assignment is a running theme.
Yes.
Well, it's
I can
It's a
say too, it's like I could tell that her speech pattern had changed, voicing this book they're voicing this character for 4 books, that she was very, she's not cold, but just very analytical and to the point about everything. Just she had like no wasted words.
Mhm.
So that first exchange with Clark, I remember I'm like, oh, like she's got some like extraneous like emotion added into all of this. So it's like, if you hadn't written, let me Uno reverse fanboy back to you, that like if you hadn't written it that way, I wouldn't have been able to pick up on it that way. So, it does speak to you guys as writers that we can pick up on this stuff and do it,
oh, I don't know how to take compliments either.
Yeah, Jess is right. It's you guys kind of make it obvious how you want to
Mhm.
flow into a certain direction. It's like, oh, I like that direction. I know what to
Mhm.
do. So let me follow along. Like you guys help us draw by the dotted line. So it's much appreciated.
It's really cool though, because so when I write, I have very, very specific images for everything inside my own head. Like I have very specific ideas for how things look. I have very specific ideas for how things sound. But when I'm working with people to convey those things, for example, when commissioning cover artists or when working with audiobook narrators, I don't like to stifle other people's art. And so I do allow, like, I like to allow leeway. I only give my artists like the bare minimum that they need to convey what I want them to portray. And then with narrators, I try to give, I don't like to give an overwhelming amount of information, even though I very easily could. So I kind of give the bare minimum unless more is asked for. And even when I give that bare minimum, you guys still manage to nail exactly what is happening in, like, exactly how characters sound in my head. I think there's maybe been like one character who was slightly different from how I pictured them, but even then it was still a really cool interpretation of the character. So it was like, oh, I'm getting to experience my character in a new way because of this voice acting. This is actually kind of cool. And so it's just it speaks to your skill too, that you're able to pick up on it and whatnot. It's super cool to me. By the way, anyone in the chat, if you have questions for Jess and Daryl, feel free to put them in there. And also, one thing I keep forgetting to mention: 3 of us are going to be at PCon in Texas next week.
Wait, next week?
Not
What?
next week, next month.
What?
Next month. There we go. Okay. Yeah, sorry, my words got all mixed up. But I have a funny story there too. So PCon is this little con in Fort Worth, Texas that is going, I think this is going to be its 3rd year. So it's itty bitty just starting out. And I was guest of honor there last year. And while I'm hanging out there, I get a message from Daryl, and he's like, "Hey, I work just down the street. Can I come say hey?" And so Daryl comes and says hi, and I introduce him to all the people I'm hanging out with at the con. I introduce him to the con chair, and you hang out for quite a bit.
Yeah.
And long story short, the con chair liked him so much that he is the special audiobook guest this year at PCon.
That's great.
I feel bad that Jess is left out. Are you in Texas at all? Are you?
No,
like,
I'm in Arizona.
Okay, so you're way off.
If it was feasible, I would absolutely be there, but it's a bit of a flight.
Yeah, that is
more of a drive.
Well, we will meet in person someday. I am
Someday.
determined. But it's funny because PCon is kind of turning into this little Edie Skye con. and so because I'm going to be there, Jacob, you're guest of honor with you're one of the guests of honor. David Weber is going to be guest of honor. Sharon Rice Weber is guest of honor. There's just a lot of our author crowd is going to be there, and then Daryl's going to be there. It's going to be a fun time, and so yeah, if you want to meet any of us, come to PCon, and I will put the link in the chat too.
I will be there.
So
Get me to hear about it.
Daryl, back to you. All right. So first of all, like all the villains and all the monsters, you just nailed all of them. But the other one that I want to highlight is Sebastian Olcott and his zombies.
He was my favorite one.
And so, like, okay, you have Olcott, and okay, he's a necromancer. You've got like that. There's like this combination of sinister and silly going on with him, and there's the scene where Olcott is working with his zombie road working crew, and it's just Daryl the necromancer talking to Daryl the zombie for like a couple pages, and I was like on the floor laughing. Okay, you cracked me up.
Jacob, if you weren't gonna bring that scene up, I was, because I think that's my favorite one from all the Blood Knight books, because he's just like, no, right over there. Excuse me. And funny enough, the voice that I picked for him for Sebastian was, I'm a big Transformers fan, and there's a show called Transformers Prime. It has Stephen Bloom playing Starscream, so I based my voice off of him, where it's like Lord Megatron and all that other stuff. He's like, oh, look at my zombies. Oh, they're not doing what I want them to do. So I was like, oh, that's the perfect voice for him. So
it's perfect.
Oh, I got to have some fun with him.
I'm curious, this has nothing to do with our books, but what made you guys want to go into narrating and voice acting? Was there a specific voice actor or specific narrator who you were like, yes, I really enjoy this person, I want to do this?
You go, Jess.
Mine's kind of a long story. Back when I was in college, so like 2015, 2016, I wanted to be like a YA author. And I self-published just a couple of things. And I'm like, okay, I want to do the real author thing, but it's like, it didn't fall through because I didn't have any support. I didn't have, anybody. It was just, I was just one person against Amazon, and it's fine. But I was like, okay, I'm going to do the real thing. I'm going to get an audiobook done. And then I looked on ACX and I looked up how much it costs to hire a narrator, and I'm like, I'm already in the hole with these books. I can't do that. What if I just do it myself? It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be good. I'll just do it myself. And so I got my little snowball mic, and I got my little my blanket in my closet at my 1-bedroom apartment that I shared with my husband at the time. And I sat there and I recorded this 8.5-hour book 4 times before I got it ACX approved. And I just shared it with some of my friends, and I'm like, it's not great, but it's fun, and I had a couple people message me after, and they're like, hey, I think you're actually good at this. I'm like, really? I'm like, I don't know. I don't see it, but I'm like, I like it. I had a lot of fun with it. I would love to do it again. And then I had a mutual friend at the time who was looking for a narrator for one of his books, and I'm like, hey, I'll do it for cheap. Did it for cheap, and then that just kind of spiraled, and I'm like, you know what? I actually really like this. This is fun. I could keep doing this. I could do this as a job, right? And then it just kind of snowballed from there, and now here I am.
Cool. How about you, Daryl?
Well, for me, I've always been into acting and audiobooks. Even when I was a little kid, I got introduced to audiobooks by my sister. She is 13 years older than me, and we went on a road trip to go visit my cousin who was in the hospital at the time. And the first audiobook I ever listened to was Flowers in the Attic, which I was 10 at the time, which
Oh,
I do not.
That's a choice.
I
That's a choice.
I
Sorry.
I learned so many things about so many things about so many things. I was like, this is
That's
so they're
such a
brother
big
and sister?
move.
Yeah. So they huh. This huh. That's weird. Tell me more.
I feel like there's a certain generation for which that book is this rite of passage that everyone read when they were too young or when they shouldn't have.
Oh, I told an audiobook coach. I went to a class with Sean Allen Pratt a few years back when they were in Dallas, and he was like, "Dude, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Are you?
Please don't make fun. And he kept bringing it up like every 5 minutes. It's like, yeah, this is the dude who listened to it, and he was like, didn't even go through puberty yet. It's like, I know it's not appropriate. I get it now, like
Now?
30 years later, I get it. But but after that, I was hooked. Then I would go on road trips with my parents, and they would get audiobooks like back in the day when you had to get it on like cassette tape. I'm that old, and we would listen to it on like road trips, and we would always get like science fiction and horror stuff because that's just the type of family we are. Like I had no sort of, what do you call it, censorship. Like I watched, I think, Darkman for the first time when I was 7, and there was this scene where his eyeball went into the back of his head. I was like, ah! I ran out of the room. I was like, this ain't right.
This is gross.
Yes.
I wanna
Like,
watch
come on,
this.
guys, I'm in 2nd grade. Come on. But yeah, I mean, even then, like I've always been into acting. I've done stage plays when I was a kid. Even as an adult, I've just always been a fan of acting. I love anime. I love just voiceover in general. And one of the genres I wanted to get into was audiobooks because I found a love for it again as an adult by listening to I think Neil Gaiman's American Gods. And I think that was the first like full cast production I'd ever heard with like all these people in this just very captivating story. And like, controversy aside with Neil Gaiman with what he's got going on, the man can write a book. And that was one of the amazing stories I heard. And then the first LitRPG book I listened to was the first book in Everybody Loves Large Chess from Sound Booth Theater. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I've heard narration before, but I've never heard like so much like such a dynamic acting. I was like, oh man, I think I can do that. And then that was like the main thing I was looking for. And man, thank God I was able to actually find eventually some books like y'all's. It's just a blessing
Thank
being able to
God
work on
you're
your
able
stuff.
to channel that energy somewhere
Yeah.
productive. I think about that sometimes. Sorry.
Because like the first book I did, it was like like vampires and some other stuff. It was not good. And it was a 19-hour long book, and it was a royalty share book. And I think over the past 10 years since it came out, it's only sold like maybe 19 copies. And it was a trial by fire for me because, like I said, it was 19 hours long. I'd never done it before. I was struggling so much with the recording and just like, oh, I quit. I can't do this, but I want to do this because I can't be an engineer the rest of my life. I hate these people. So I got to do this. And I just kept on finding other jobs and persevering and being able to find more gigs that really stuck to who I was and what I like doing. And that's how we got here.
Oh, we got Froby in the chat again that says, I feel for you. I watched Friday the 13th when I was 6 because my grandmother didn't want to watch it alone.
Oh.
I want to be that type of grandma that's like, Sonny, I want to watch Freddy versus Jason. Come sit down on the couch with me, please.
This is
5.
right. This is one of them. This is Power Rangers, right? Like, yeah, Granddad, this is Power Rangers. All right, sit down. Ooh, this is more bloody than I remember. You sure? All right.
Now, I have
right,
another question. Oh, go for it, Jacob.
Okay, so finally getting to Monster Girl Tamer 2.
Oh yeah,
Like 35 minutes into the podcast. All right, so there's one kind of pair of exchanges that I want to highlight, and again to fanboy over. And it's very late in the book, and so I have to be kind of careful because of spoilers here. But it's in sort of the climb down from all the action set pieces, all the craziness, of which there is a lot in this book.
There was a lot, you guys.
and so you have Axel and you have Jazz, and they have a bit of a conversation, and Axel is very much the weary, triumphant hero, and Jazz is Jazz. Jazz has no off switch. I don't even know if she can define the word off. Nope. And so they're having a conversation, and they're coming at this situation from two very different directions. And oh my gosh, that was like the best performed part of the entire book. When I swear, I listened to it, and then I rewound, and then I listened to it again, and I did that about 10 times because I just loved, you guys both nailed those characters, not just the characters, but where they were at that point in the story, and it just was so good. I just like listened to it like 10 times over, and then I listened to the rest of the book.
Yeah, he brought it in to make me listen to it, and then he did it again, the same scene. I'm like, Jacob, I've already heard this. I mean, it's good, but that scene gets a lot of replay in this house.
Aww.
I have to say, like, I love all the voice work, but I especially love Pepper because I know she was a task. And like, legitimately, when I see you in person, Jess, I am bringing you like a whole box of lozenges or something as thank you, because I know that she was a hard character on your voice.
She is something. And something I guess I've learned over my career as an audiobook engineer, and maybe Pepper was kind of my turning point in the first book of like, hey, this voice is super fun, but if you pick it, you got to commit to it, and you got to keep it up for however many books are in the series. And I did get to a point at the end of the first Monster Girl Tamer that I'm like, fuck, why did I do this to myself? And then because I think you told me it was going to be a trilogy at some point.
At one point it was, and then we decided to cut it short, primarily because I kept wanting to write more Titan Mage. And it's, as you can see, because so in book one, the giant robots were not in the outline. The characters originally had different powers, and I got to the first battle scene with Pepper, and I was like, I really want to write more giant robots. She's gonna have a giant robot. We
could tell that everybody, ends up with some form of mech, at the end. I'm just like, okay, we know who's writing this one.
Yeah,
the Gabazord. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
All the various forms.
So I got to tell you guys a little bit about the editing process for this book. So I get the first draft. Okay, so the final draft, what you guys narrated, is like an 11 out of 10 on the crazy scale. It's there's
turned up just a little bit.
All right, so the first draft wasn't an 11; it was like 14. And I'm like, Heather, I think you went a little too far here in a few places. We need to pull it back. So this is the moderated version of this.
It is.
Story.
It is less insane than the original version. Well, this one
would not have guessed.
The thing about the Monster Girl Tamer series and the Monster Punk Horizon series that spawned it, they are my absolutely over the top unhinged series, and I love writing unhinged stuff, but my other stuff sells better. and so there was a part of me that was like,
and
yes,
it's easier to edit,
and it's also easier to write, because one of the challenges with if I'm to compare the Monster Girl Tamer universe with the Titan Mage universe, Monster Girl Tamer and Monster Punk Horizon are very much anything goes, because one of the mechanics that I have in there is if when the characters hunt monsters, the monsters produce gems that have various skills or magics related to the monster's skills, related to whatever. It's like I literally have a monster at the beginning of Monster Girl Tamer 1 where they take its gem and they can see stats, so it's basically, if I want to do something in the world, I can just BS a monster that has that skill and then have them collect a gem from it. And it's fun, but it also means that there are no limiters on the world. And one of the things we found over the years is that I write a lot better when I have limiters. And compare this to Titan Mage, where with Titan Mage, I have 4 different kinds of magic. Well, 5 by the end. But there are very, very specific ways that the magic has to be channeled. And that having those limitations requires me to get clever with how the characters use them, as opposed to being able to BS whatever I want to in the Monster Girl Tamer universe. And so there's some interesting structural differences. But yeah, so I completely forgot where I was going with that. But Monster Girl Tamer was more difficult to write than Titan Mage, because of that. And because I am very inclined to writing insane things. And Titan Mage gets crazy, but it's a restrained kind of crazy, if that makes any sense at all. I mean, they fight them in the first series, so but it's crazy with limiters on it. Yeah.
I appreciate being able to be unhinged as a voice actor, completely honestly, because like 90% of the books that I do are very like calm-ish, easy listening, like a lot of mysteries, a lot of like cozy ghost stories, like prepper fantasy, like that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So to be able to sit down in my booth and be like, okay, what am I doing today? What is this line here of like, what was the one that really, there was one that really got me of like, Pepper looked at the fruit like she had just seen a bunch of YouTube tutorials on how to crack
Yes.
heads, and now she was going to head cracking school. I can't even
Yes.
remember. It was so fucking unhinged.
I know which line you're talking about. Yes.
Like, how did you even come up with this? Why did you write this?
That's just where my brain is. Like, to give an honest answer, I was a huge fan of Douglas Adams and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And he uses a lot of really, really weird, clever, extended metaphors. And that's one thing that is carried through my writing. It's not just, I used to write much longer extended metaphors. I've toned it down quite a bit. But I love the strange comparisons that he would come up with they'd be absolutely weird, but they would convey the exact thing he wanted to convey.
Mhm.
And that's something that I always aspire to do in my own writing. So that's exactly where that kind of line came from. I'm channeling the spirit of Douglas Adams through a monster girl.
That's excellent.
Yeah, and it's not to say that I'm not going to write anything unhinged again ever, because I'm in the process of starting up a romantasy pen name, and romantasy, like women's romance in general, can get crazy unhinged, and that's honestly one of the things that attracts me to it. It's like the pretty books really they appeal to the collector in me, because there are a number of books that I bought solely because I really like the painted edges. I don't know what they're about, they're just pretty, so now they're on my bookshelf. But the more romantasy I read, especially dark romantasy, the more I'm like, if I want to write unhinged stuff, this is where I need to be writing, right here. So that's another project.
That's pretty much my bread and butter, is the romantasy stuff. Like I got a lot of work through Podium for their stuff. There's like, okay, what can this lady have sex with? And who can we get? Let's have Daryl voice that thing. An orc? Cool. A seahorse?
We'll figure
How
it out.
about it? How do we make a giant spider sexy? I don't know, but we can do it. Let's get Daryl to do it. Like,
One of the
oh,
things that
through-
constantly makes me laugh is like frequently online you'll see sexy art of women, and the constant refrain is like, oh, men will sexualize anything. And then I go to my like Facebook feed and I have literally gotten ads for Kool-Aid Man smut.
Because
And
why not?
like, and then I went to look up, I was talking to someone and I went to look up the title of the book just to prove to them that it existed. There's more than one by different authors.
oh
Do
my
they all
gosh.
start with him like smashing through your wall, being like,
I
Right.
guess
yeah, get ready to get in my
yeah.
bed. Yeah.
What flavor is it
it's
this
like,
day?
talk about sexualizing anything. It's like, oh man, women's romance is where it's at for the absolutely unhinged stuff. Like harem romance is vanilla compared to some of the stuff that I've read in the romances from the romantasy section.
I don't know if you've ever just like flipped through Daryl's Audible catalog, but it is insane seeing some of them and just go, I'm like, dang, he's got a range. So many monsters, so many big, hot, sexy monsters. But
I'll tell you one thing. One of the author I work with, Regina Bell, her series are amazing, and she she actually has a line of sex toys based on some of these characters. Like if you look up her stuff and it's like, oh, this is an alien, huh?
Oh my
And
gosh.
and they sell like hotcakes, and it's amazing the amount of work that goes into them. I'm
New
like,
merch idea,
hey,
Jacob.
I mean, I was like, hey, more power to you. Like this is the
do you make
idea. It's
ads
like
for her?
people have fantasies about this stuff, so now you can
Yeah.
listen while you know.
That's oh my gosh. My brain
Oh
doesn't
my
even know how to process that. I mean it does, but it
Alright,
fascinates
so-
me some of the merch that I see come out of romantasy. Like speaking of that, because like I'm on TikTok all the time because that's where that reader community is. And I've seen, for example, perfume sets that are themed after like the men of Fourth Wing and things like that. It's like you want to smell this
way.
men on your pillow. Here you go. And it's really clever though, because so much of the romantasy that I've read, at least, is very sensory. They're very attentive to the smells of things and the textures of things and whatnot. And so it's really, really brilliant merchandising.
Oh yeah, they do a lot of detail oriented stuff, and I'm
Mhm.
down for it. And they are some of the best fans. Especially, I hear a lot of stories like, yeah, I've like a lot of readers I've gotten messages from. They say stuff like, yeah, like my eyesight is diminishing, and this is the only way that I can read books now. It's like, oh, bet I'm happy to do that for you. Let me know when you're ready for something else, because I mean, just hearing that kind of, because you hear about people who do like animation, and they say a lot of people who are on the spectrum that can only like really interact with the world just based on stuff that they see like that. And it's a nice feeling to have, knowing that, oh, I can bring some joy into somebody's life by talking about how the snake man is going down on this woman. But you know what? I'm happy to do it.
What a wild.
I really am.
Alright,
Don't
To be honest,
take that out of
so-
context.
so I've
We've broken your
okay,
brain.
I'm
can
just
talk
gonna
while you-
try to just gently steer the conversation.
Well, I do want to say one more thing.
Oh no,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of what Daryl mentioned about audiobooks being the only way that some people are able to enjoy books, that is honestly one of the key reasons why I have audiobooks and why I'm so excited that you guys do such a good job on them, because I have a large number of readers who are dyslexic, who are blind or are losing their sight, including like one of my good friends is in the process of losing her sight, and she absolutely loves hearing our audiobooks because of the performances you guys put on. But I absolutely love that audiobooks enable me to reach readers that way and to bring some joy to their lives when certain elements of their lives like make them hard and make it hard for them to read print. And it's just I love audiobooks for that reason. John is in the chat saying that audiobooks are all that keep me sane at work.
Agreed.
There's nothing like a good audiobook. Okay, Jacob, go.
All right. So I know that Heather and I, we've become much more cognizant of the fact that what we write is going to be turned into audiobooks. And I know for a fact that I've actually had editors criticize some of the stuff that I put into books nowadays. And my response is, well, the listeners can't hear the text formatting, so I'm leaving it in. Like different things. Like I think sometimes I'll call out that something has a capital letter, and it's like, well, yeah, you can see that it has a capital letter. It's like, not in the audiobook.
Mhm.
But even with that said, I'm sure there's stuff that that we've given you guys that you've had problems with. So I was wondering if you wouldn't mind just sharing, it's like some of the stuff that maybe tripped you guys up, or different humorous things that may have happened in terms of the production process that came up, something unexpected or funny or something along those lines.
Well, I know in our Discord chat, I was talking about how in an audiobook I had to say the word hippopotam monstrosos something phobia or whatever it is.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah. And it's like, and they were like, what is that? Oh, it's a fear of long words. I was like, oh, what a dick move. Wow. Who would do that? And I just remember thinking, like, I don't have a fear of this word, but I am very pissed off.
Like, I have a fear of it now. I didn't before.
Like, oh, so much cursing while trying to record that. And when I finally got it, I messed up that by going blah, 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 blah. Yes. No. Oh, So that's that. And then the German, when you guys had me introduce that one back in the old country, they called me. Gotta Google that.
That blooper is one of my favorites. Like I will just, if I'm having a bad day, I will listen to that, and automatically I'm having a good day.
Well, it's also in that blooper, you're like completely in character, and then it's just like, like a switch being flipped. It's like, what is that word?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, everyone who's listening, if you want to hear the bloopers, they are available as a reward on our Patreon. And I think it's like one of the lower tiers, like the $1 ones or something. So it's easy, very easy to get to. So they are super fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've had specific like words or anything like that have tripped me up. Some of for Monster Girl Tamer, just I guess the voices that I guess I picked out for myself. Some of Harley's when she gets transformed into this isn't a spoiler, isn't to say she's a giant fucking magical girl praying mantis with huge tits, because why not? Like Sailor Moon, but make her a praying mantis, because and her like shining stellar scythe queen cannon, that whole thing. I think I had to record that specific line probably like 10 times, because I kept either screwing up the words, I kept dropping her accent, or I kept peaking my mic because her voice is very in that tune. It's very shrill, it's very up here, it's very, my name is Harley and I'm a princess, and it's really obnoxious to listen to, probably, if you listen to it for too long. But
oh, it's spectacular. You did a great job on her voice.
Thank you. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I coached a friend who got into audiobooks recently about like she was going for a couple of auditions at Royal Guard. So it was giving her coaching specifically on like voice acting for audiobooks. And I'm like, you gotta let yourself be cringe. Like if you want to like make it in this business, like just be cringy. People like it. Yeah. So
I feel like that's the key to success in a lot of industries. Like my author career did not really start taking off until I just stopped caring about looking serious. And it's like the more fun I have, the more readers like me, the more my books sell. Like it's not 100% the truth, but I frequently say that I wrote Titan Mage as a joke. It started as a joke, but the thing that really made Titan Mage work, like we did take it seriously. We wrote it to market. We structured it like a harem novel, but I approached it with the spirit of, you know what? I'm writing a harem novel. I'm going to have fun with this. And the fun comes through on the page. And when I stopped taking myself so seriously as an author, that's when the success started. And we've actually got a good comment in the chat here from John Aldridge. The best advice I've ever gotten when I took acting classes is get used to doing embarrassing things.
Mm-hmm.
The scene that really sold me in Titan Mage the first time that I was recording it was the girls all rolling dice over who gets to fuck Locke first. I think that was I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you guys, but Titan Mage was the first like super explicit book that I've ever done. I've done a couple
really?
Like we've done like Daryl and I did like a kind of tamer, like new adult, but still, paranormal romance kind of thing. But so jumping from that into these 3 women who we've all had their bodies described. One is singing about sausages, and now they're all rock, paper, scissors, rolling dice over who gets to fuck the isekai alien man that just jumped out of their ship. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can get behind this. This is fine. I see what I'm. They're not looking for a serious like performance, I guess, in a way.
Oh yes, thoroughly unserious.
So going back to Harley in Tamer 2. So as the fight scene with Harley and the main characters, the cast of main characters is going on, Harley is getting frustrated with the tropes that she has to obey because of the trope magic that is going on there. And you have in some cases, she is trying to spit out the attack lines as fast as possible. And just those lines are hilarious. It's just like she's just like trying to shoot out these long attack phrases like a machine gun, and it's hilarious.
Just as fast as I could possibly speak.
I'm looking forward to that scene. I think I'm on the scene where they meet Mona for the first time. So that's as far in as I am. And then of course I've heard the other stuff that Jacob has maybe listened to. But you guys do such a great job with our stuff. And I'd say that what we were mentioning about there being like Heather, when you were writing Titan Mage, that you were having fun writing it. And I get the feel, listening to your audio performances, I get a feel that you are enjoying yourselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel that that joy ends up, being conveyed to the listener, and like enhances the product overall.
I remember being super excited whenever Titan Mage began recording, because I naturally, whenever Royal Guard told me who was going to be narrating, I went and looked you guys up, and I noted that I can't remember where it was, but Daryl, I saw somewhere that you liked giant robots, and I'm like, hell yeah, they've got someone who likes giant robots narrating my giant robot novel. Like, this is going to be amazing, and it's because it's a very specific fandom. And it's so I was very, very pumped that I had someone narrating who knew that fandom and who had similar enthusiasm for it.
Oh, like I think it was the last book where you're talking about how the cockpit was in the crotch. I was like, oh, and I was reading it as we were going, and you were like, yep, Zone of the Enders, perfect.
Yep. That book. I with the exception of Monster Girl Tamer, which is all references, I generally try to avoid putting pop culture references in my stuff, or if I do put it in, I like it to be somewhat subtle so that it doesn't take the reader out, or so that it doesn't date the book artificially. But I got to the end of Titan Mage and I was like, you know what? I'm 5 books in. I got a whole bunch of mecha references I can make, and there were Easter eggs all over that thing. And some of them are subtler than others, but I just had so much fun slipping in as many references to all the giant mech franchises that I love that I could. And that was one of the most fun things about that final book.
You hit up some pretty obscure ones too. Jess had to ask me about one, and I think it was in Monster Girl Tamer too, where she was like, "What book is this?" I was like, "Ooh, this is the You gave the Japanese name. It was the Legend of the Overfiend." I was like, "Ooh, don't watch that." was like, yeah, I saw that.
Remember this.
You don't want to. That'll mess you up.
You want to know something absolutely hilarious? The illustrator of the original manga came to Anime Weekend Atlanta one year when we had a table in the dealer's room. And as a result, one of my prized possessions is the first volume of that manga signed by the creator of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was wild. It was like it's not something that I normally would have gone and purchased, but the creator was there and 30 feet from me. And so
you just had to.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, when was I ever going to get the chance to do that again?
That might be your cringiest treasure that you have. And there will be people who would demand that too.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeesh.
Jacob, you look like you have more questions.
We are
at the top of our hour.
I think I have gotten out enough fanboying for the podcast. Though I would like to just let the listeners know that this was not a paid endorsement. that everything here, all the praise is very, very genuine. Jess, Daryl, we have been absolutely thrilled with the performances that you've done for our books, how you've breathed so much vivid life into our characters. Thank you. You've both done a fantastic job, and we're super happy to have had you narrate these books, and we look forward to having you narrate more books.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Feelings mutual.
Yeah,
so excited.
Thank you so much for having us be your narrators. We really do appreciate it.
Thanks for coming back to us, especially too. Like that's always a good sign. We're like, oh, like we didn't screw up the first one. We got booked for a second. Let's go.
I am determined to have you guys for everything at this point. It's like I've got 3 books of Titan Mage Havoc planned, and then 3 more books of I'm going to be continuing mainline Titan Mage after that. And it's like I got 6 more Jess and Daryl books to look forward to. So it's like yes, and having you guys, knowing that you guys are very likely going to narrate them makes it that much more exciting to write them, because I have sometimes when I'm writing, I hear the voices you have assigned the characters in my head. Instead of the voices that I came up with before.
It's funny that you mentioned that. So like for the first few books of Blood Knights, like you, Heather, you asked me like, well, what do these characters sound like in my head? And I said, well, they sound like me. What, all of them? It's like, yeah, they all sound like me. I know it's boring, but while I was working on books 4 and 5. The other, at least some of the audiobooks have been out at that point. And I was hearing the characters in the voices that you two created. So I'm like writing dialogue and I'm like hearing it, in like a pseudo performance of yours. So that was an interesting experience. I've never, like I said, all my characters sound like me. Until
what you're saying is like our voices live in your head just rent free whenever you're writing.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And also we were very happy to hear that Royal Guard was going to hook you guys up for Cat Girls from Outer Space.
Hell yeah.
Down.
Yes.
I'm so down for that.
Which technically I think is maybe the first time we've spoken about that particular project in public. Yeah. So do you want to talk about it a little more, Jacob? Or shall we leave it?
Not until all the background paperwork is done. I think we'll just let that one sit for a bit. Okay. But yeah, once
things dangle in front of the readers.
Yes, a little bit of a tease.
Oh yeah.
I have to ask as the narrator, how many nyas are in this one?
There aren't any nyas, but there is purring. So.
Gotta work on rolling my R's. Shoot.
Oh my gosh, the purrs you put into Sloane's dialogue in Titan Mage, by the way, I love them. That's just the mention of purring brought that up, and I remember encountering the scene where Locke meets her in her human/cat girl form for the first time, and I was like, I didn't put that in the audiobook notes, but I'm so glad it's in there.
So I've been going through the manuscript. I actually finished going through it this past week.
Yeah.
And so I like added some purring, and I was like, and I'll admit this was like a stupid question. I'm like, I wonder if I should check with Jess if she's okay doing sultry cat girl purring. And then I'm like, that's such a stupid question. I don't need to ask her this.
I've done worse.
Of course she can do this.
Oh my gosh. I could continue forever talking to you guys, but we usually run for about an hour, and this seems like a good time to begin wrapping up. We'll have to have you on again whenever whatever else comes out next. Before I close this, I do want to say I just put some more stuff in the comments. If you guys want to go check out any of the audiobooks that they have recorded for us, that link is there. You can also enter to win a signed copy of Monster Girl Tamer 2, the paperback, and so that form is in there. But before we go, Jess and Daryl, do you have anything else you want to say, like any other audiobooks you guys have coming out that you're excited about, or this is your time to talk about other projects and fun things.
I'm super pumped about Path of the Slayer that we just finished. Like that's the big one that I'm excited for the full release to hear the whole thing.
It's going to be a really good book. I do a couple of impressions for one character. For anybody who can tell the character and what impression I'm doing, hit me up and let me know your guess. That's the little Easter egg for you. But yeah, this is going to be a really good book. That's why I have my hair out right now, just like the cover page for it. It's Hunter Mythos. He does good work, and I think you guys are going to like this one. We're going to be working on that. A lot of the stuff in the holosphere, which is what I'm going to say is y'all's books. And then we're going to be doing more, was it Bond Arsenal and another Path of the Slayer book afterwards. So we're going to be busy. And I work 2 jobs. So I work as an engineer and I'm doing a voice acting. So I'm very tired. As soon as I get off of here, I'm doing some more books.
Daryl, I hear you. I feel you. Yeah. Yeah.
I frequently.
My personal goal is to go from 2 jobs to 1 job. That's my personal goal right now.
Yep. Oh, we've got one little question in the chat from Froeby. If you guys want to hang on for a little bit, what books is everyone listening to?
Just started Dungeon Crawler Carl because my husband is listening to it because we were talking about it the other day. I have it downloaded on my phone. I'm going to listen to it this weekend after I get all of my audio stuff.
You're in for a treat. That's one of my
I've heard it's a good one.
So freaking good. Hello, Carl. Oh, God damn it, Donut. Oh, I love her so much. Oh, such a good series.
Well, I'm listening to Monster Girl Tamer 2, but I'm also listening to a box set of Virgil Knightley and Serena Silverlake's The Bawdy Ballads of Bodrick the Bard just came out.
Wow.
And
That's very Lord Askgetter.
It is. Honestly, they're kind of similar vibes, or at least similar vibes that I would imagine the Beef Lord Askgetter books to have if I ever write them. But it's absolutely hilarious about the bardiest bard going off and doing bard things. But it's absolutely hilarious stuff, and I love it. But I'm listening to the second one now, and so those are my 2 audiobooks. And Jacob, I know you're listening to you've listened to Monster Girl Tamer 2.
Yeah, I just finished Monster Girl Tamer 2, so I haven't picked my next audiobook yet. I don't know what I'm going to pick. I've got such a queue of audiobooks, a queue of books and a queue of audiobooks. So I don't know which one I'm going to hit next.
It's all
on a dartboard, toss a dart.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Well, everyone in the chat, thank you for joining us tonight. This has been a fun night. And Jess and Daryl, thank you for joining us. But also, again, thank you so much for narrating our audiobooks, because it is a real delight. It's one of my favorite parts of my writing career, hearing the stuff that you do with the words that I write.
Well, once again, thank you for having us. And remember, everybody, be your best Beef Lord Askgetter.
Please
And
put that
on
as a
that note,
tagline.
good night, everybody.